For the very first time at WrestleMania, it is a casket match. It is the legendary Undertaker versus the big man Mark Henry here at WrestleMania 22. And again, first time ever casket match, and we know what is at stake. The Undertaker's legacy, the streak is on the line. Mark Henry looking to make sure he breaks that streak here tonight. At the early going to this matchup, and Mark Henry showing some athleticism there, delivering the knees right into the skull of the Undertaker. Mark Henry believes that he has a chip on his shoulder. He believes that Mark Henry, believes that he should be main eventing WrestleMania, that he should be the one in the matchup for the World Heavyweight Championship, and believes the Undertaker is responsible for Mark Henry not main eventing WrestleMania. And Mark Henry just dumped the 6'10" carcass of the dead man on top of the casket. An Undertaker reversal. Mark Henry went face first off the top of the casket here. You know, there's never been a casket match ever in the history of WrestleMania. But for the very first time here tonight, we're going to get to see it. A casket match, very eerie and bizarre, very, very unorthodox. And again, this really does favor the Undertaker, I'd say, when it comes to his match specialty. And what does Undertaker have in mind here? Plants Mark Henry back first. Mark Henry attacked the Undertaker a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown. The Undertaker faced Kurt Angle for the World Heavyweight Championship a few weeks back on SmackDown, and it was Mark Henry who interfered and put the Undertaker through the table. And right now, Mark Henry looking to put the Undertaker inside this casket. And can he do so? And if Mark Henry's able to do it, he breaks the Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. As Undertaker begins to battle back, Undertaker's undefeated streak has been the talk of the town every single time WrestleMania comes around the corner. Undertaker has won every single WrestleMania up to this point. At WrestleMania 22, can the Undertaker go 14-0? Oh, and a massive big boot. And to put it in perspective, think about it this way. Imagine your favorite football team winning the Super Bowl 13 times in a row. It is unheard of, and the Undertaker has been able to do that. But the Undertaker looking to make it 14. As Undertaker has Mark Henry gonna go for a ride, is the world's strongest man on top of the casket on the lid. That was a powerful power slam. You can already see here, the match is just as brutal as it gets, and we expected this for sure. You have both superstars in Undertaker and Mark Henry. You stick them together in the ring, and at a casket outside, it's gonna be brutal for sure. Mark Henry is just really taking it to the dead man and opens the lid of the casket. The Undertaker up to his vertical base, and now Mark Henry again manhandling the Undertaker. You never get to see that. When do you ever see someone manhandle the dead man, especially at WrestleMania? That was Mark Henry doing. Mark Henry's gonna fly, and I think what the hell? I think he just completely missed the Undertaker. And Mark Henry perhaps a little bit surprised over that. Ooh, face first off the apron. Remember the casket rules. No disqualifications, no countouts, no pinfalls, no submissions. You must place the opponent inside the casket. And Undertaker with a choke slam, and it could be it here. Undertaker could just be minutes away from putting Mark Henry through the casket. And now Undertaker measuring Mark Henry for a potential tombstone. And Mark Henry, though, just literally seconds away from his career ending. And reversed it, but Undertaker sending Mark Henry into the steel steps. And now the leg drop. Back on SmackDown, The Undertaker said that Mark Henry was going to rest in peace. He said that Mark Henry was going to be the latest victim of the streak. The long list of legends that The Undertaker has defeated through the years at WrestleMania could be adding Mark Henry, as Henry, though, again, a 350-pound splash onto the ribs of the dead man. And the Phenom, The Undertaker, once again battling back with the shoulders. And Undertaker going to try to take control of this matchup, but again, the world's strongest man is going to say no to this one, and the world's strongest slam onto the Undertaker. You can see the Undertaker is stunned, and I think Mark Henry might have a chance. Mark Henry might defeat the Undertaker. And remember, there are no rules. There are no disqualifications. You can use this weapon at your disposal. Undertaker with the right hands, the best pure striker in the company. Pick up Mark Henry already. Scoop slam. And now, Taker, though, missing through did Mark Henry. Mark Henry's really got to stay focused. I mean, he is in there with The Undertaker. The best of the best when it comes to the world's greatest entertainment special, WrestleMania. Saw the kendo stick that Mark Henry was going to use moments ago, now laying down below. The Undertaker had that one scouted, thankfully. Mark Henry has not moved. Well, now he's moving. And the Undertaker is just measuring right now the perimeter of this matchup. And look at this, Mark Henry out of nowhere with a clothesline that really rattled the arena. You gotta believe the Undertaker at this point in time, perhaps maybe wondering what he will need to do to put away Mark Henry. I mean, it's not gonna be an easy task to put this big man inside the casket, and Mark Henry continues to put these diabolical moves on the dead man. Really allows Mark Henry to perhaps win this match. Look how close they are to the casket. Remember, you must place the opponent inside the casket. You must close the lid. And Mark Henry looking to do that. Mark Henry has placed the Undertaker inside the casket. And Mark Henry now trying to make sure he's going to close the lid. Undertaker fighting back. Oh, and Undertaker successfully out of the casket. And Mark Henry got a cut of that one. Got a bit of that one. And Undertaker having a hold of Mark Henry yet again. Picks up the world's strongest slam. Says it's going to end here. Mark Henry hanging on. With Undertaker with a boot. Mark Henry now falling inside. Undertaker on the apron. And now it's the Undertaker's turn. Undertaker's going to try to close the casket. Oh, but Mark Henry again using his power. Did you see the way the Undertaker went over the top rope back inside of the ring? That was pure brute strength for Mark Henry. And Mark Henry again was trying to get some sort of weapon under the ring. Undertaker, though, reversed it and continues to reverse it with a couple of elbows. And a boot there onto Mark Henry. Mark Henry has been in WWE for many, many years. In fact, he came here with the World's Strongest Man title after he's won that title years and years ago, before he's entered in the WWE. As Undertaker tried to grab the steel chair, but Mark Henry thwarted that one. Mark Henry looking to fly again, but remember the first time it didn't work. Will it work this time? Mark Henry from the top and now using the elbow to the back of the neck of the Undertaker. And Undertaker's down and out. Mark Henry now picks up the Undertaker already. My goodness, Mark Henry could be again seconds away from putting Undertaker down with the world's strongest slam. Undertaker stunned. Undertaker's in trouble. The streak is in trouble. Mark Henry placed the Undertaker back inside of the casket. And now it's the Undertaker's turn. The battle of will and strength. Can the Undertaker fight back? And he does. My goodness, Mark Henry was so close. There's a saying that goes, so close but no cigar. And that was really close. Oh, and Mark Henry with that massive kendo stick. You can hear that sickening thud making contact with human flesh. And now Mark Henry throws the Undertaker down outside of the ring. And uh-oh. Undertaker, look at this. Tombstone pile driver to Mark Henry. Mark Henry's been tombstoned. And Undertaker's going to try to get some more. He is going to get some more weapons. That's the sledgehammer at this point. And Undertaker trying to use it at his own disposal. But Mark Henry now going to use it at his own. And now uses it again to try to knock down the dead man. The Phenom, though, the legendary Phenom, using that sledgehammer again at his own will, taking it to Mark Henry after that massive tombstone. And you can only imagine, perhaps, the Undertaker has one goal in mind now, to place Mark Henry inside the casket. And he does, successfully. Mark Henry's inside. All the Undertaker needs to do is close that lid to win WrestleMania and make it 14-0. Mark Henry trying to battle it out. Mark Henry, though, almost very close. Undertaker wins. The casket has been closed. Undertaker's streak continues.
Here is your winner.
The Undertaker, standing tall at WrestleMania. It has become a tradition, a yearly tradition for The Undertaker to take down his opponents. But tonight was just a bit different. Tonight, Mark Henry, his latest victim, was placed inside a casket. May Mark Henry rest in peace.